Hey, I wish I could be there to help you with this, and I planned to do it, but we had enough going on this week that I didn't get to do my big finale. So this worksheet is, or this video is to help you out with how to find what we call the limit in my little math world of an equation. So what we discovered is that whether it started at 16 or it started at 800, the graph seemed to center at 320. So this is an example of how that worked. And what you do is it doesn't matter what the start at is. If you notice, I have it blocked out. Instead, the only thing that matters is this recursive rule part. So you take it, and where it says un equals un minus 1, we actually put a c in there instead. And part of the reason is because we're just not going to mess around with x's, because x's, we've used them a lot. This is a really special case. This is something else we're trying to figure out. So instead of doing a x there, we're going to do a c, and the c stands for constant. Now, the idea is that we've discovered that it settles down on a number, and there's a constant that's going to come through. This doesn't work for just any old equation. This is pretty special. So you put a c here, and then you put a c also here. The idea is that you come to a point where the answer and the answer of the one after it get closer and closer to being the same number. In this case, we're shooting for 320. And that's information that we discovered in our class lesson, this 320 business. And so it's like we're kind of in on the secret. We know it's going to equal something. So what you're going to do is you're going to put a C in both spots, because we have this inside knowledge that eventually it's going to equal the same thing anyway. Then you put in, this is your common ratio. So 1 minus 0.05, and then the plus 16. So this is from the original. Then what you do is you simplify it. So just remember that if there's not a number in front, there is actually a secret one there that mathematicians are so lazy they don't want to talk about it, but it's there. And then over here, if you notice, I calculated 1 minus 0.05. And so 1 minus 0.05 is 0.95. And so that's here. And then if you look, the very next line, I've rewritten it, and I've put the 0.95 there. And that's because you usually put the number in front of the letter. You don't usually have it hanging out like this, if at all possible. Then you're going to use a little algebra. We called it the T-chart at North Campus. Bring in my little T-chart here. Some people are fans, some people despise it. We're going to get our C's all on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 0.95C, subtract 0.95C. And when I do that, I get 0.05C equals 16. And then how do you undo multiplying by 0.05? You divide it. And when you do 16 divided by 0.05, you in fact get 320. And that's the number that we discovered it equaled when we did all that graphing earlier this week. So that's the example talk through. The next video, we'll talk through this first you try problem.